What is going on, everyone? Tim from Tier Orbital. So I'd like to go over an install that I recently completed on a Master Sword from Jawas Junkyard. Right on the heels of the new Zelda release, Tears of the Kingdom. This was perfect timing for me because I actually started this install the day that I downloaded Tears of the Kingdom. So it's been cool revisiting this hilt. This is not the first Master Sword that I've installed. However, it is the first time I've seen the purple iteration of this particular hilt. But other than that, it's going to be the same chassis that I've done in previous installs and the same switch solution that I've invented, I guess. It's the same switch that I've put in previous Master Sword installs, right? So this is going to be a relatively quick video. Unfortunately, I don't have the blade for this hilt. Devin Clark from the Saber Trade has done a run on Master Sword blades, and actually people have been getting them within the past couple of weeks. They've started to ship, and I've seen some really awesome pictures of the blades with the Jawas Master Sword. I don't have one. Maybe someday I'll have one in my collection. I'm not that much of a Master Sword fan, but it would be cool to try the blade out with the hilt someday. So anyhow, we're going to be really quick with it. I'm going to come into Fusion and talk about the chassis a little bit, and then we will do a quick demo, right? So let's come into Fusion, take a look. So here is the chassis. Like I said, this is it's the same chassis design that I've done for most of the Master Sword installs, right? Battery tray is here. Around the bottom, we've got a 24mm speaker. This one is from Smuggler's Outpost. Proffie does sit in this tray. It will slide up underneath that lip to secure it in place. There's not a lot of room down here to plug in your USB while that Proffie is in that tray. So it will slide out if you need to get at that USB and the SD card. And I just did some like organic greebly flourishes on this guy. I didn't want to like put all my mechanical greebly stuff on this one. I wanted to keep it in line with the Legend of Zelda theme. There's some rupees here. There is a small Triforce. And I did some flourishes here as well. 6-rail PCB is up top. That's from Stardust Sabers, and that is it, right? So for this particular build, I also put a Triforce in the crystal chamber. So the first iteration of this I used the green rupee that comes with the chassis from Jawas Junkyard, and I retrofitted that into a chassis before. The previous one I did had a yellow Triforce, so I wanted to do that again. So they just a quick Triforce design on a post, and that is printed. I printed that in translucent yellow resin. That way it kind of gives a golden Triforce kind of look in that crystal chamber. It is lit from above with one 2525 single neopixel. And that's it, right? Nice and quick. Let's come up top and talk about this hilt. So here it is. This is the Master Sword from Jawas Junkyard. This is the purple edition. It's the same. It's the same body. It's the same pommel, same wrap as the blue iteration of this. I did notice something when I received this hilt, though. So the blue versions that I've done have had a hole in the grip already. And that is, I'm assuming, for the placement of the switch. This is a custom switch from Jawas as well. This is done out of milled aluminum. And the idea with the Jawas chassis is that it's a removable chassis. You slide it in, and then you've got to like glue a magnet on this post for this switch, and in that hole is where the switch will go after you've got your chassis in. I'm not a huge fan of doing magnetic switches, just for the simple reason, they get lost, or, it's just a pain to kind of remove the switch, then have to take the chassis out. But I did notice that there was no hole in the grip for that switch, which is usually, I use that hole as like a pilot hole when I add my custom switch, but that wasn't here, so I had to pop a hole there for a switch. And that's it, right? Just single button setup, nice and easy. I think the purple looks really rad. However, I'm a purist. I do like the blue version better, right? But it doesn't matter what my opinion is because this is not my hilt, right? So let's talk about the chassis really quick. Here's the chassis. Like I said, same deal that I've done with my previous Master Sword builds. I did a pass with Tamiya metallic blue on the chassis. I taped off these flourish areas and then went back with some gold rub and buff just to bring out some detail on that, make it look like it's like faux gold almost. Okay, speakers down here. There's that Triforce 6-rail PCB is up top, and there's our Proffie. This is a Proffie V3 setup. Okay, so to use the hilt, flat part of your battery, negative, spring side is negative. So you want to put your battery in the chassis. There is no kill switch on this build. You are the kill switch when you place that battery in. Twist to activate, twist the deactivator on. There's that lit Triforce. So to put your chassis in. So this switch assembly, this is a lit switch. Okay, so I take the milled aluminum plunger that is supplied by Jawas Junkyard, and I retrofit it into these lit momentary switches, right? That's just an 8mm lit momentary switch with an insert that I resin print to hold that single milled aluminum plunger switch, right? So unscrew your pommel, take your chassis once your battery is in, slide it all the way in, put your pommel in. That pommel is going to help push that chassis up into those upper PCBs. I like to just screw it in until it stops. That way it's not compressing too much, and then you're ready to go. Single button activation. So that switch is lit. There is our lit PCB emitter. Let's come down. So there are a bunch of different Zelda-themed fonts on this. And I also put a couple other different ones on here. Some out-of-universe stuff. There's a Final Fantasy font here. So you can put a 1-inch blade in this. I don't have, these are M2 screws. I'm assuming, these didn't come with a hilt either. I'm assuming that you get these when you get the Master Sword from Devin Clark. But you can put a 1-inch blade in here if you want. I'm not going to swing this around because the blade will just fly out, right? But yeah, just for demo purposes, we can do it like that, right? So, that's it. Nice and quick rundown. Let me put this away. So that's it. A nice quick rundown on the Jawas Junkyard Master Sword purple iteration, purple rendition. Really, love doing the installs on this hilt. It's a super unique hilt. If you are a Zelda fan, I highly recommend getting one of these. It's a great replica. And of course, with the blade, it probably looks really rad. I mean, I've seen pictures. I haven't seen it in person, but I've seen pictures of some people that have received their blades, and it looks really, really fantastic. So anyhow, to the client, thank you very much for your patience. To the viewers, everybody, thank you so much for your support. And if anyone has any questions, please don't be a stranger. Reach out. And with that being said, may the force be with you always. Thanks for watching, everybody.